Ms. Bontrager, thank you for joining us. Can you explain the purpose of tonight's meeting at the Elk Grove Library?
Yes, this is the first of the meetings on our permanent shelter project. We have our current shelter is in a leased space at the Calvary Christian Center, but we need to have a home for the shelter once that lease ends. And so we have begun planning for that. This is the first of our Phase 1 meetings. Phase 1 is focused on developing the conceptual plan for the shelter. So figuring out what amenities we want to include in it, what services we need, and getting some feedback from the community on the design aesthetic, what sort of look and feel should the shelter have. Once we get the conceptual planning done, that will give us an idea of how big the shelter needs to be, what it might look like, and that will help us to identify which sites would be appropriate options for the shelter project.
The second question is, this is a controversial issue within any community, and Elk Grove is no exception. What sort of resistance does the city expect on the ultimate site selection?
So site selection for shelters is controversial everywhere. Elk Grove, as you said, is no exception to that. We are hoping to have a number of community meetings around the potential sites and get the community's feedback on that, as well as before we talk about sites, get the community's priorities on what they might like to see in a site or not like to see in a site. That will help us to identify what are the best locations to bring forward. That's really our Phase 2 effort. So after we finish this conceptual planning, we'll have more information that will help us to do Phase 2 community outreach. So lots of opportunities for folks to participate through this process, and I'd love to have community feedback at every point.
Thanks.